The Pinball Network is online. Launching.
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
No, we're not live, but
Okay,
are you
good.
effing this up? Yes. Normally when some professional podcasts actually they add their sound effects, they add their stuff afterwards. We're not that podcast. So I hit the button.
We don't do that shit.
And then I have to edit but we're here. We're
Just
started
mute
episode.
my mic before. It's fine.
What are we? 55, episode 55. Is that right? It's crazy.
Can you hear
yes,
that?
I can hear you pounding on your desk. What is?
All right.
Why? You're surprised by that?
Just edit this part out. Let's just start over. We're good.
I'm pretty sure if I hit my desk too,
It's a Shure SMB 7. It's not supposed to pick that shit up. I don't understand.
It's even rocking my camera.
Travis, can you please, if people are watching this on YouTube, please comment about Travis's tan line. Please, if you could just move that collar over another 3 inches, you can already see it peeking out. It is so. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
It's like a ghost under here.
It's something, man.
I'm ready for Florida. It's fine. I'm gonna go to that pinball at the beach in February.
If it still exists.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm worried about I'm actually worried about what's coming up, Free Play Florida. I don't know how bad Lakeland got hit. So
true.
Well, that's
Joel. Now all I can see is this tan line. Oh my god, that's so bad.
Click on the. All right. Well, thoughts and prayers for that tan line, man. Dude, you don't even. Yeah, Monica probably makes you wear a shirt to bed. Jeez, that's rough. That is.
Hey, at least she can see when I'm in the room. That's all that matters.
There we go. Tom, you feeling good? You ready to go?
I think so.
All right.
You got your Mountain Dew, Tom?
Oh, he does. I see it. Let's go.
We're 3 guys who like to talk pinball, so we came up with a clever name. We're Joel and Travis Scott who talk pinball, and we call ourselves Triple Drain, Triple Drain, Triple Drain. We're Triple Drain.
We're here. Okay, we have, just a heads up, we have four stops, 4 planned stops on the bus ride today. So 4 planned stops. We're going to talk about Alice in Wonderland and the reveal stream. We're going to talk about Avatar. We're going to talk about X-Men, and then we're going to go over Expo, what to expect at Pinball Expo. I say that, and I just thought of one more thing. Did you guys watch the interview that I did with Keith Elwin? Did you guys
Yes, I watched it in a plane back from the UK.
Awesome. Thank you.
That awkward moment when you have to say, no, I haven't seen it yet.
I appreciate that, Travis. Yeah. It was really cool. Once again, talking to him. That's on the Flippin' Out YouTube channel. We did like a deep dive on Jaws. I've done this now with Keith a few times where we really dive into the game. And man, I learned so much from that interview just because he designs the entire game. Like he has his hands and thought into the entire game. And the fact that
he is a pinball designer. Yes.
Yes, but that I do not feel that title.
Imagine being
can you honestly say that there are people in this industry that have the title of pinball designer that design every aspect of the game?
I'm not answering that, Joel.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a loaded question.
This is such a trap right now.
I'm not.
It's a trap.
You hear that? Jack Danger, if you're listening, you did not design all of X-Men. That's what Joel just said.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You hear that, Brian Eddy? Stranger Things. You did not come up with all of that. Now, I know what you're saying. Yes. I feel you. You're talking about people bouncing off ideas and everything.
Sure. Or I mean, at the end of the day,
surely there's something on Keith's pen though that wasn't his original idea that maybe somebody suggested.
I didn't say he's 100% responsible for every aspect of the game. What I'm saying is yes, and Keith is very quick to point out it's a team effort. It's a team effort. Like Keith obviously relies heavily on his mechanical engineer Harrison Drake. He relies heavily on his coder Rick Nagel. But what's really cool and where I've gained a lot of respect for Keith Elwin is just the amount of mental capacity and thought process that he puts into every aspect of the game, where instead of just being like, all right, I'm going to trust the rule. I'm going to trust the coders to make good rules. I'm going to trust this to do that. Like, I don't know. I would just encourage people to go back and listen to it because I gained a lot of respect for him, even more respect for him after that interview. And one of the things he pointed out is I asked what's something that a game designer spends way more time doing than most people assume. Because I think most people assume a game designer is they're playing with foam core or CAD, planning out ball paths and this and that. But once you've done that, once the play field's designed, what do they do at that point? And that's where he mentioned they have to manage the whole team. And that's everything from art direction, code direction, sound direction, everything. And I don't know. I think game designers should be. I don't know that there's a manager aspect of that I didn't realize. So I don't.
So what you're saying, it's a job.
It is definitely a job. It is definitely a job, and I bet there have been some amazing pinball designers, as in they can design the mechanical side and the layout of a play field super well. But I bet they are terrible managers, and that's probably got to be rough. That's got to. I mean, no. Yeah, managing a team is a challenge. Some people are really good at it. Some people aren't.
It's some of you out there.
I don't even have a name in my head.
Well, we're just making the assumption there's somebody out there that's really horrible at their job.
The name that popped into my head would be J-Pop. J-Pop popped into my head.
I
doubt that guy.
I see where this was going.
Yeah, look at this transition. You like this? You like that? Yeah. I doubt.
Wait, if we're gonna plug stuff though, we got to let Tom plug his podcast too.
I had a great transition.
That's true.
I had a great transition.
We'll wait till the expo part, then we'll plug.
No, you slammed on the brakes. We'll kick it in reverse, and we're backing up. So,
all right, we're back in the golf cart, and we're backing up. Got it.
Me. Let's plug that awesome new podcast live stream that Tom is now doing. It is.
Travis is a part of it too.
Yeah, but Travis is very quick to point out this is Tom's thing.
Right. I'm like an in-between co-host. I love how we start out our main podcast by plugging our other podcast. This is fantastic.
It's true, yeah. Thanks for clicking on this.
Everybody.
Thanks for clicking on this.
Not
now
a podcast, it's a show.
Let's point you in other directions, okay?
Yeah, Tom is right.
Let's point you to the better content. So Tom on Twitch, so Fox Cities Pinball, he's doing the Pinball Pulse. Is that right? Pinball Pulse podcast show. Where you are basically, it's all tournament talk. So all those people that just heard those words, tournament talk, and they go, oh yeah, gimme. If you want more, tournament talk. Boom.
It's 98% tournament
where
talk.
It's at. Yes. So Tom, take it away.
Okay.
Plug it. Describe it. Tell us all the stuff.
So Joel just told you it's basically tournament talk. So Travis and I we discuss tournaments that are going on. My whole concept of it is I want to get people on to promote their events and also the players to talk about the events they've gone to and just extrapolate on that. But we just had Escher Lefkoff and Zach McCarthy on to talk about, well, a lot of stuff, UK Open, Expo, and the Stern Pro Circuit event that's coming up. So, and then we also talked about the European Pinball Championship. So it's just I don't think there's enough talk about tournaments. So that's what, the idea actually Travis and I had is just kind of getting to that. But we live cast it on Twitch and then it goes to YouTube.
Yeah.
So that way when we shit on games, it's for a competitive reason, right?
Yes.
So that way.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, now we can go back to the transition.
No, shit on games. I could transition to a whole nother, should I go that way? Do you want me to go that way, Travis?
Nobody shit on it. No.
No.
That's the second part. Or now it's the fourth part. So now we got to talk about your transition was we're back in the golf cart. We're going forward. It was J-Pop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just start from there.
Yeah.
Go.
Check out Pinball Pulse. Check it out. It's great. All I was going to say with that is I've realized.
If Joel says it's great,
I enjoyed it. I listened to it for 2 hours, and honestly, Escher can talk. That guy, he's a talker. But at the same time, it was entertaining. I was thoroughly entertained about hearing about all the different challenges. Like there's so much more thought when it comes to a tournament. You don't just show up and get lucky. Like the amount of skill and planning and strategy and everything. So I was honestly like captivated. I really enjoyed listening to it. And what I realized being a part of this podcast, we've talked about tournaments, but we've always in our notes, we've always just put that towards the end. And honestly, we've never given it enough time. They talked 2 hours and could have talked more. And so I'm glad that there's now a better avenue to really dive in.
Right. And to be fair, it is a niche within a niche because obviously there's going to be more pinball players than pinball tournaments. Sure. But I think even for people that don't play tournaments, it's an interesting listen just because it's such a deep dive into very specific strategies and tactics that you can even pull into your own play at your house or on location or whatever. So I think there's a lot of value there. Just the same way I think there's value here when we talk about manufacturers, we talk about just the business side or just like how we view a game in general, or we just shoot the shit. Like there's all kinds of ways to do it. Either way.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've done all that. We've plugged. Let's plug Silverball Swag while we're at it. Check out our merch. We sold a shirt to somebody in Austria, which is incredible. It's so strange when I see the stuff come in and the fact that people around the world listen to this. That's crazy to me. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're watching this outside the US, please comment and tell us where you're watching, because it's crazy to me that this is a global thing. I know Travis and Tom have had this, but Tom, he was just over at the UK Open, and like he's interacting with people from Europe that listen to this show, which is crazy to me. Yeah. So I appreciate.
So many people came up to me and from Europe and was basically like, "Hey, I love the podcast. Love your stream. All that stuff."
That's so cool.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. It's humbling for sure. Because we know like everybody out there listening, regardless if you agree with us or not, if you hate Joel or you don't hate Joel, it's fine. We all love Joel.
That's the divide. Yep.
But you're basically, you're giving us an opportunity and you're giving us your time too.
Sure.
And obviously time is something that you can't get back. So no, we do not take it for granted at all. We talk about it all the time off the podcast too. It's crazy because I always say we're just three idiots with a microphone. That's really what it boils down to, except for Tom. Tom's not an idiot. So it's really two idiots and Tom. The show should be called.
I've realized the three of us have very different skill sets, professional backgrounds, collecting habits. Like, I don't know, I feel like we cover a lot of the hobby from many different angles, and that makes it fun. Okay, so I think can I go?
We're on the golf cart. We're going forward.
We're on the golf cart. We're moving forward. Let's hard right back into J-Pop sucks as a game designer, right? That's what we were saying. He obviously couldn't manage a team, yada yada yada. Okay, here we go. Great transition. Let's talk about Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, the stream just happened, and sure, I don't know J-Pop. I'm not trying to attack him personally, but this is a game that it is very polarizing. It has been really interesting seeing and reading Pinside, reading the YouTube comments on not only the reveal trailer, but also Carrie Hardy did a great job doing kind of a reveal stream with I think the guy's name was Melvin, the main game designer I'd say designer. He took J-Pop's original design and finished it.
I guess would it be project manager? What would the title be? I'm not even clear on that.
I don't know what he calls himself.
I think he is. I don't know. I can't say for sure. So.
Well, he definitely pointed out there were multiple areas of the cabinet where, like in the foam core original design, there would be a ramp or there'd be something and it would just stop. Like there was nothing, if you didn't see it from the top down, there was nothing there. So there was clearly things that he had to finish or complete. But anyways, all that's come out. It's very polarizing. I think there are some collectors that this is everything they've ever wanted in a pinball machine. The sculpts are incredible. There's like almost no flat plastic in the game. Everywhere that there would normally be a flat plastic, whether it's over the slings, over any other area of the playfield, custom molded and painted sculpts. There's, this custom little stopwatch with a screen. The Cheshire
sounds like
Cat.
A lot of crap to break.
the Cheshire Cat topper comes with every game. It's a limited release, 500 limited machines. So for the people that really enjoy this hobby from a collector, like maybe not so much, maybe they don't play the games a ton, maybe they really don't care too much about code, they just love collecting these beautiful pieces of equipment. This is everything they've ever wanted. So some people are loving it, and then the other side of that is like, this game looks terrible, this game does not shoot well, the code, what's in the code, what shots are there, what's the sound, yada yada yada. So I don't know if you two, what were your immediate reactions or initial reactions to trailer or stream? I mean, we can go whatever direction you want.
Travis, I'll let you take this one.
Okay, so which one are we talking about? Because this
Be
is
careful what you say.
Right. This is
email goes to tripledrain@gmail.com and you can start it to Travis or
because
he doesn't have access to the email.
My feelings get hurt so easily. I don't have access to the email, by the way, so it just goes to the abyss.
It goes to Tom and I, and we laugh.
So which one? Like, which one do we want to discuss
Pick
first?
one.
I mean, there's so much to go through. So here's the thing.
The mini playfilm.
I will caveat this with pinball's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard bringing stuff to market. It's incredibly tough. And especially if you have a small team, that makes it even more difficult. So it's super easy. Like, I've worked within, obviously, what we're working with Funhouse.
Yep.
Been part of a greater team with that. So, it's like anything else. Certain decisions get made that you can't necessarily be like, your decision isn't part of that, right? You might have like outside advice, opinion, whatever. But when I look at what Alice in Wonderland is, I know going forward with it, for me personally, I was curious to watch it just because I know what's behind it in terms of, J-pop doing the design, what the history is from there, how a lot of the industry feels about that, right? There's a huge scab still there, right? It's not a scar yet. So naturally, you're going to open up that wound anytime you do that. We saw the same thing happen with Raza, and that was already 5 years ago, I think, 2019.
Yeah.
And I still distinctly remember playing that game at Houston Arcade Expo 2019. And that's when I had like 40 half ramps, and I just like nothing really was working the way that I thought it should, shooting wise. But I know when I first saw Alice in Wonderland, in terms of what the foam core or whatever you want to call it that they showed. And I even told you guys this. I was just like, this game does not look like it's going to shoot well at all. Like, it just did not look like that was the aim for it. Now, there's plenty of other J-pop games out there that I do enjoy playing. I do enjoy shooting. Like World Cup Soccer happens to be one. Circus Voltaire happens to be another one. And, we could go down the rabbit hole as to why those games are actually really good. But I don't think we necessarily need to do that. It's kind of one of those things, if you know type thing. So this doesn't surprise me, seeing how this is playing out with Alice in Wonderland currently. And it's going every which direction, right? Like, even the art is super polarizing. And it's not because it's like, oh, the art itself is just really bad. It's like, what is the art? It's like, even
did
when we saw
Yeti do the art?
He did the initial,
originally?
He did all the original art, but it was all just black and white. It was all basically what you saw on the foam core. And I watched the reveal stream with Carrie Hardy, and Kaneda was on it as well. And that came up. And so what they had was basically black and white sketches. And then they worked with another artist to flesh out all the color, but they wanted to stick within the original, design thing. So yes, I think almost all of what you see was drawn by Zombie Yeti, but it was just black and white line work. And then they had another artist finish it. So why that was the direction? I mean, Alice in Wonderland can obviously be like a little kid's story, or it can, people have gone really dark with it and made it more like adult and like gory or gruesome. And so why we landed in this type of, I don't know, like young adult, kind of sexualized version, I don't know, but that's what was drawn, and that's what Melvin kept going with. And I know he's proud of it. He has no intention of changing the art. But that's what he picked.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, and that's perfectly fine. It's an artistic direction, if you're in, I mean, I imagine, obviously, I know that there's women that listen to this podcast. They've came up to us before, let us know. And, I've talked to a lot of women in pinball that don't mind that sort of artwork, and I've talked to a lot of women that do mind that sort of artwork. And I've talked to a lot of men that don't mind that sort of artwork, and I've talked to a few men that do mind that sort of art. So it's like anything else. It just depends how you look at it. But that's the great thing about this industry. If you don't like the art, guess what? You don't have to buy it. Like, you don't have to look at it. You don't have to do anything. You know, so me personally, the art's whatever to me. You know, like I'll play Elvira at times up at the facility, and obviously that's showing a little bit. You know, I got a jumping jack right over here in EM that they obviously show a little bit as well. So it's like, yeah, there's some stuff out there that's like that. I think where it gets a little, what's the word? Gratuitous, I guess is the word I'm looking for, is when people do the custom back glass to where it's like a topless woman and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to feel like I'm in Las Vegas every single day staring at that. You know, it's a weird thing, but that's pinball. I don't, you know,
I know. I mean, I know that's an art package that would not be very acceptable in my basement. I know, like when I borrowed Elvira, I had to put tape in certain places to cover areas for my wife's approval or for the kids' approval. And I'm assuming people listen to, you know, probably heard me say that and just rolled their eyes. And you know what? That's fine. I'm trying to be respectful for, you know, people's opinions that happen to live in this household. But is that
Joel doesn't want to sleep in his car? That's basically
it's fine. Like, it's perfectly fine to have a giant monster breathing fire right behind him that probably kills thousands of people when he does it. But cleavage, no.
Well,
but I understand. I fully understand, though. There's people have different opinions, different likes.
I'm surprised my Paragon's still here, to be honest. But
at the same side, same time, I know if Zach ever let me borrow, if Zach ever let me borrow the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like I know that would be a game that I would probably have to, after I stream it, like close the head and like put a blanket on it. Like there's no way, like. It's just when you go with something graphic, whether it's sexualized or gory, it's going to be polarizing. Personally, I think the art is very well done. I think it's very well done. It's just a style that some people are going to love, or they're going to immediately say no.
Right.
It's just how it is.
I will tell you the most graphic thing I have in my basement
is that tan line.
Okay, the second most graphic thing I have in this basement right now is my laser cue. If you know what the laser cue back glass looks like. Yep. It's literally half-naked muscle guys playing space pool.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It looks great. So I mean, Monica doesn't complain about that. She's like, "Are you going to go like that for Halloween?" I'm like, "No."
I bet she doesn't. Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, art's one thing. I think sculpts. I mean, I will say, admittedly, the game is beautiful. It is an absolutely beautiful looking game. I think they did a great job. Like the sculpts, they got Lior mods involved in that, and all of it looks incredible. So the light show, I know they got Davey with Stumbler mods involved with the light show. Like the rails on the side have lights embedded in them, and those will change color. I mean, they went all out. It's a beautiful looking game. The other
so
thing
how did you like that though? Because that's like when I was watching. So those two things you just mentioned, and Tom, I'm sure you watched this as well. The sculpts and the outside rails. That's like the two things Monica, my wife, for those keeping track at home, she was watching this with me. That's what she zeroed in on. Me, I'm just looking at the layout and I'm just like, this is going to shoot like a turd. Sure. But she's like all in on that and thinks like, yeah, it looks great. That's really cool that they did the sculpts. And my thought process was as well, you can't see like the outside rail in terms of what it's doing. So I'm curious to hear your guys' opinions, what you think, because I'm more like, I want the expression lights on the inside or the hot rails from JJP. That's what I'd like to see, because that's what I can see while I play and not necessarily be on the outside seeing something move back and forth. But I guess I could see the value in it, kind of like a topper in a way that I guess that
I think
if
it's
you're
a cool
off the side,
I think it's a cool effect, but I agree. I'd rather see it inside the game than outside, or both, maybe. But
well, you've already poo-pooed speaker lights. You know, we had a whole argument about that. Oh, and real quick, this is a shout out. These
are you talking about Travis?
I've never shill for Stern. Yeah, that's right.
I'm a shill for Stern.
This is a Stern product. You love them now. That's right.
Apparently, I've never spoke bad on an LCD or a speaker light ever on this podcast. I am a total shill for Stern and toppers too. I love those three things. They are great.
I don't know how well it's going to show, but these are the actual the X-Men LE behind me. These are the official Stern LE lights. This is the Stern LE kit that I have in Godzilla, but Pinwolfer actually sent me. He has a new light ring with a different diffuser, so which I think is awesome. So you use the Stern kit and then you just replace the light ring and the diffuser. So I don't know how well it shows off, but there's your comparison.
You probably can't see awesome. Mine way in the back.
Oh, I can see him right above your head. Yeah.
I have in my Godzilla, I have the flames, which I think you used to have, Joel. Did you? I
did. And a lot of people have asked me. They're like, if you had to pick right now, do you prefer the flames or do you prefer the actual Stern lights? And I'm just a sucker for integration. I really like. I mean, you'll see just the light show changing. What I will say is, the Burning City, that light show is better than any individual light show on this Stern thing. But where I get stuck is when you're playing different modes, the lights change based on the mode you're in. I just love that immersive integration. So that's why the Stern lights are staying. But for people that are on the fence that already have the Burning City or the Burning ones, I would not fault you for keeping it. What do you want, Travis?
Well, no. So now that we're kind of on Stern products, I'm just like bringing this back to Alice. Like, does Alice in Wonderland, what it does with the sculpts and with the outside, like, does that make it enough to get attention?
I think it. Go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I think it does. At least, like, visual stuff in pinball is definitely a big thing. So I think it grabs your attention, but like you were saying, Travis, like, I just don't think this layout is that great, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this mini playfield going, where are the flippers? And then it's like, oh yeah, there's magnets in there. Okay. I mean, I've played Twilight Zone before and there's magnets in that. But there's only like one objective, and the objective is to get the ball in the back area, so you can basically get out of there. I'm trying to think like, okay, how am I going to aim for these targets on the side? How am I going to hit these balls that are captive and move that ball around with magnets? I see they have the scoop on like a little scoop on the right, and that's gonna probably catch the ball quite a bit and send it back. But I just don't get the mini playfield. Like, to me, it doesn't look like it's going to be a barrel of fun. But I know Barrel of Fun didn't do the game. I was just throwing that out there. But
it just feels like it just feels like a lot of randomness, right? When you look at it up there, because it's not as condensed down as Twilight Zone. So Twilight Zone, it gives you that feeling of, yes, it's kind of random, but you can kind of control it. And you kind of feel like you're going to get it there. And plus, it's freaking awesome to do that whenever I nearly cussed there because this is how cool it is. It's awesome when you're up there during a multi-ball as well in Twilight Zone. So, but again, it's because it's condensed down. And I feel like looking at Alice in Wonderland, it doesn't feel like you have any actual control. Right, Tom? Like,
that's exactly it. Like some randomness is good, but like, to me, like a whole mini playfield of randomness is like, I don't know. I just cringe at it.
That exists after Jaws too. Like, that's the thing. Yeah. We have the Jaws upper playfield, right? That has very specific things that you can do.
We have the Foo Fighters one too. I mean, there's
but you said it. You're saying it exists after Jaws. We got to remember that was designed a long time ago. J-Pop
doesn't matter.
Designed,
it came to market after.
I know.
Came to market
Melvin
after.
was very
doesn't
clear
matter.
that he was not going to change what J-Pop designed. That was what he designed, because there was a question there. Why weren't there flippers? Well, that's not what he designed. That was the original intent, was let me finish what
I think
J-Pop
that's I think that's a mistake. Yeah, because I mean, look at Houdini. I mean, J-Pop had a Houdini layout that they drastically changed at American Pinball, which I'm sure for the better. But yeah, I'm looking at this game. There's one ramp. There's a couple orbits.
I think
just doesn't seem like
too,
there's much to shoot.
Right. And that's the crazy part is it's still not completely clear. I mean, it kind of got clear towards the end, like how to get up to the upper play field, because it doesn't seem like you do it very often. So you're
have
mixing
to
something
complete 2 modes.
Yeah. And why?
That's
why?
Isn't the mini
should be-
playfield like the grabbing feature of the game?
I know. Yeah. Well, that
like
we could
it's
go
the main
down that
toy,
direction.
right?
Which,
Well, we're going every direction,
Yeah,
Joel.
we
And,
are,
and
we
the bottom
are.
line is
We're-
the bottom line is to wrap this part of the game into a nice bow, because we can talk about this for an hour, and we probably should talk about it because it is the new game, and it's going to be at Expo and everything. But it's kind of like, I wonder if that's why the sculpts exist the way that they do, because it does cover up some of the shortcomings of the layout itself. Whereas if you did not have those sculpts, right, you don't have that focal point going on. But I will say the sculpts do look good. I do wish more games more often would do types of sculpts like that, because it does kind of bring together the theme and it brings together the atmosphere that you're looking at, right? So I like that in general. So I'm trying to find a positive in this as well,
yes.
because there are parts of the game that's obvious that they did their job. They did a great job in terms of trying to bring together a package. Now, if we want to talk about call outs.
Well, okay. So my feelings to what you're saying about sculpts is it is very clear. I mean, even just even Stern, the difference between the premium and the LE is cosmetic. The difference between JJP's kind of veered a little bit, but the difference between the LE and the CE is cosmetic. So there are plenty of people, plenty of collectors in this hobby that they want that game. The code didn't change, the layout, the shots and layouts didn't change. They just want that game to be the best it possibly can be with all the bells and whistles. And then you add the mod community into it, the amount of mods that people get to swap out if sculpts or add toys or add little things there to like the amount of stuff that I've added to my Godzilla to take it to the next level is crazy. But I totally agree with you. I think this Alice game is when it comes to a cosmetic standpoint, is a complete game. I don't know what a modder is going to add to this game. Every plastic it's just loaded. It's loaded with sculpts. We talked about Avatar, the fact that the whole back left side, which is the tree of life, is all flat. There's no tree there. That's kind of a miss. I even look at X-Men. Like, I think Jack got creative, but behind the Sentinel head is supposed to be like this destructive building area, but it's just flat plastics. Like, why that wasn't a sculpt, kind of like in Ghostbusters, how the cityscape was actually a sculpt. You look at those things,
and on about cosmetics, and I mean,
so Alice cosmetics.
Yeah, sure. Let's give Alice. Let's say it's the most cosmetic game that's come out in 100 years.
Okay,
how does it shoot?
True, and Big Lebowski did that well as well too. Big Lebowski is very stacked when it comes to, so if that's what they're going to do and focus on, great.
But it shoots well. I mean, it does shoot well.
Okay, so
this is where it's not just terrible.
Yeah, I think a great thing about that. Sorry, Joel. Like Tom and I and you, we're just vibing right now. But it's like, so okay. My thing is too. It's what I'm curious about with pinball, and this is like for better or for worse. We see this with nearly every single manufacturer that comes out. I think pinball in general fully understands that it's the way that you present the game early on, and that people are more accepting to wait on a code than they are to see a game that doesn't have the right art, doesn't have the right features in terms of your sculpts, your plastics, your mechs, stuff that you cannot change later on. Obviously, code, you can go up and down and everything. So I think that because the consumer, the retail consumer, is willing to wait on the code, and this has been proven time and time again. Happened with James Bond. It's happened with Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's happening right now with X-Men.
Walking Dead, X-Men, yep. And that's just the Stern thing. It's happened with people waiting on JJP games in terms of like wizard modes not being in the games yet. Like, I don't think Godfather even has Kiss the Ring yet, right? I mean, I can be fact checked on that. I think it's not there, but yeah, it's just people have proven that they're willing to wait on that. But if you don't get your art and just the look of the game right at the very beginning, that's kind of where people just tune out, right?
Yep. And I think they did all that. That's why I think people are like you mentioned the call outs, the graphics, the LCD art. I don't have a complaint with that. I think I think the graphics
really
look pretty good. But yeah, as in pinball enthusiasts, we are understanding that code can always change. Code can always change. It can always improve. So it was really interesting. I mean, the reveal trailer was on Monday, and this interview with Kaneda and Carrie was on Wednesday. And so even in 2 days, Melvin was saying, yes, we were going to change these call outs. Yes, we've already removed this. Yes, we heard people complain about that. They mentioned, which I think is interesting, that they're going to leave certain folders in the code, which will be what will reference audio clips or graphics. They're going to leave some of those folders open so that you could change it yourself. And he was essentially saying, like, if you wanted to put in art from, he didn't say it, but like the Alice in Wonderland movies, or put in music, like you could do that. So I know some people in the community hear that and they're all excited, but at the same time, it's like, well, now all of a sudden it's our responsibility to make the game what we want it to be, instead of that. So it's either way, but I'm not upset about I'm not upset about the music. I'm not upset about the call outs. All that can change, but what can't change is the layout.
Joel, when are you getting one to stream?
I don't think I will.
Oh,
Zach is not a distributor. Zach with Flip It Out is not a distributor. So I don't think I'm going to have a chance to stream it. I'm open to it. Apparently Zach had reached out to him to, that was one thing about the stream that hurt as a streamer. This was actually something we talked about last episode, which was when me as a streamer, Tom, or Travis, even with the content that you make, like there's a little responsibility you have, is in like, I want to make sure that I'm showing this game off in the best way possible, or as realistic. I want to give the viewer, a good experience, and nothing against Carrie, but them playing the game was a last minute decision. It was kind of dropped on Carrie last minute. And so trying to get that from a technological standpoint of, these are people over in Europe with cameras set up, capturing that data, somehow being pumped to Texas where Carrie is, to then put it together in a stream and have good audio, good video, no delay, good lighting. Lighting is huge. I have 4 lights on me right now. Like lighting is huge in streaming.
Well, let's get into this because let's start from the beginning. Like the way that we all discovered it was through Carrie Hardy, like presenting it. And I think Kaneda presented it. I guess they did like a dual
release thing,
whatever. Yeah, I'm not sure if they had like 2 separate YouTube releases or what it was. I just remember all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I texted you guys. I'm like, I think Carrie is live right now, and I think they're actually showing the game now. This is like 12 or 1, so in the afternoon. I forget what, or maybe even 11. But I just remember like it catching my eye, and I'm like,
the trailer was
well, the trailer and everything, so I'm like, I guess they're doing it now. And I had it in my head that this trailer was going to be something completely different than what came out. So I was just completely confused by the trailer. And I'm not like, obviously it's difficult to do presenting pinball, but it was like, you didn't even see a ball hit a flipper till like a minute and 5 seconds in. And it was just, I didn't understand it. I was so confused by it. And I showed it to a few people that are outside of pinball, and they had no idea what they were seeing at all. So I don't know. I still don't know what that trailer was exactly.
One of the best comments, I laughed out loud. One of the best comments I've ever read on Pinside was somebody said, because people have poo-pooed the current era of pinball, which is apparently code is the new mech, so it's like, we don't do mechs anymore. So codes are the new mechs. So the comment they wrote was, well, if code is the new mechs, then apparently light show is the new code. Because they were essentially saying with the Alice that it's all just light show. I mean, that's if you look at the trailer, what they were promoting for that first minute plus were the sculpts, the animations, and the light show. They're promoting an
atmosphere. That's what a lot of companies are trying to do right now: promote an atmosphere, and not necessarily promote a game that can play. Like there's a vast difference in that. There really is.
Does anybody play pinball anymore?
And without I mean, I don't know, I'd have to look at Stern or JJP and look at their reveal trailers. Like, what did they do better in our mind? Or like, why aren't we poo-pooing their trailers? Why aren't they like, if that's,
I mean, it's, well,
what are they showing
Okay,
You know,
well, we can talk about that. Yeah, what Stern does, it obviously follows a formula because you look at it. Somebody steps up
with the hand.
Yep, somebody steps up to the game. You see the plunge. It tries to follow a certain mini story because that's what you're showing. You're trying to show a mini story, and it gives a little captions that says, "Okay, this is what's happening here. This is the mode here," something like that. It shows the features. JJP just says, F all, we're doing like a Hollywood production doing it. And it does. It looks awesome. It looks fantastic. You know, that's pretty cool as well. So it's interesting to see how different people do it. I think just with this trailer in particular, with Alice in Wonderland, and Tom and Joel, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I just felt like it was way too long.
All over the place.
Yeah, it was 2.5 minutes. It wasn't coherent. It waited way too long to get to the actual hook of what this game is, right? I think everything you need a hook. So to me, it's like if you're doing some type of trailer, there's a reason why, if you guys look, and this is like the marketing hat on, there's a reason why a lot of Hollywood films now choose to show the key parts of their trailer in the first 5 seconds. It's literally an announcement that you're about to watch a trailer because it's the TikTok crowd that you have your first 3 seconds to make that impression, to keep them there, and then to watch the full thing, as opposed to starting off super slow. And that's what you can't do. And that's kind of what this did. That was just super slow and just confusing at times.
You said you got to show what the pin is, and maybe that's what they're showing. Maybe, I mean, I don't think they're selling Alice in Wonderland as this is the greatest shooting game ever. This game's going to captivate you with the kinetic satisfaction that No, they're promoting this game as look at this world under glass. Look at how beautiful this game is. Look at the atmosphere. Look at that. And side comment, and this pains me to say it, but for all the haters out there that they're like, Travis only poops on it because he's not selling it. If he was selling it, he would be saying this game's so great. You know, that's all we got. We got so much of that feedback from last episode and some of Travis's questions about Avatar. Like,
those
why
people
is it so hard on Avatar?
Did not,
Travis, you know,
they did not listen to the John Wick episode, apparently.
Which he crapped on. What pains me to say is I am actually gaining a little bit of respect about Travis's marketing thoughts. And that's because this is what he does every day. He works for a pinball company. His job is to help sell pinball machines. So the amount of time and thought that he puts into how do you grab people? How do you captivate them? How do you sell a product? How do you get their attention? Like, this is what Travis does every day. So I respect him a little bit for it, just a little bit. Not saying you have to, the listener. You don't have to.
Until I do this, then he loses.
Then the tan line.
Or maybe he gets excited. I don't know, Joel. I don't know. I'm not going to judge you.
But I think it's interesting. I mean, the fact that I understand that you look at a trailer with a much more critical eye than Tom or I. Tom or I, we're just ready to, wow us. Why have I not clicked away yet? That kind of thing. So,
well, it's segmenting out the audience too. So, like for instance, Tom, you probably don't need a trailer or anything to convince you to get a game. Like you've been in pinball long enough to where you know what you like, you know the themes you like, and you know a layout that you're potentially going to like, correct? Yes. Is that kind of the way you are?
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's one segment there, right? Mm-hmm. And in your other segment, really, if you're doing a trailer in general, right, you're trying to reach the people that are kind of on the fence to begin with. Because if they're already high intent and they're already sold, it doesn't really matter what you put out, right? You could have a gameplay to where you hit no shots at all and you take the glass off and you have to use your hand to hit the shots instead. Like, that we're going to talk about in a few, as a matter of fact. But on the other hand, it's like, if you are kind of on the fence, that's who you're really speaking to begin with. Mm-hmm. And then you're doing a trailer because it's essentially evergreen. As long as your product is in cycle and it's being manufactured, it stays relevant to that. But at the same time, you have to respect people's time when you're putting it out. You have to get to the goods. You have to get to the value immediately. Because if you're not doing that, somebody zones out. They're going somewhere else. That's just the way it is.
I just personally think the people that were on the fence, I think a lot of these people are the collectors. I think a lot of these people are the people where I want this beautiful loaded game, limited. This is the J-pop game that was never released. This is a great theme, Alice in Wonderland, early Zombie Eddie art. Like, they're hearing all the keywords of thinking like, I want this beautiful piece of art in my basement.
Right. And you're saying it's pure retail customers too. That's an important differentiation to make. Yeah. The location right? Your B2B customer is a lot different than your B2C customer type, right? Because you're not selling to a location, you're selling to an individual that wants to put the game in their home. Retail is totally different, totally different.
So I think in that regards, I think the trailer did a decent job. It really showed, it wowed the collector, as in like, look at this beautiful piece of art. Because I don't know if the collectors, you don't agree, Travis? Because I don't think the collectors care about code or shots.
Well,
some.
Here's the thing.
If you're offended by that, sorry.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Well, no, they don't. Let's face facts. I will be honest, because we sell to a lot of collectors, right? Everybody has a different reason for why they like games and for why they collect. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, Tom, what's the primary reason why you collect games? What's your reason?
So I can destroy Usher Lefkoff in a tournament on him.
There you go.
Oh, wait, that's wrong.
It's because I think it's because his wife loves his collection. She's like,
right.
I love that collection.
Could be it. But why do you buy pinball, Tom? Like, let's just start from there.
Well, mainly to have fun and practice on them. And I mean, that's the big thing. But, there's multiple reasons, as a collector. Some of it's value, some of it is cosmetic, but mainly I like certain layouts and I like the way they shoot, and that's
Well,
see, that's perfect.
Spoiler alert, Tom, you're buying an X-Men Pro. Why? Because
I don't like the LE.
Yeah, but you said you want to buy it because you want to learn the game.
I want to learn it and practice it. Yep.
Okay,
so that's the main reason.
That is a perfect example right there, because there's so many collectors too. I've seen it time and time again that this particular LE is going to some beach house over on the East Coast or over on the West Coast, and you see their game room, and it is like fantastically amazing, but the game is going to sit there and maybe get 50 plays over the next 3 or 4 years, because it's a total centerpiece art piece for people. Yeah. I mean, people buy the games for different reasons.
And so that's fine.
Right. And that's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Yeah. As long as you're enjoying pinball the way you want to enjoy it, do it. Like, if you enjoy pinball just shooting shots, cool. If you enjoy pinball by just seeing lights go off, cool. If you enjoy pinball because you like modded it out, cool. Like, do it any way that you want. If you do it for streaming, whatever. But what I'm getting at is with Alice in Wonderland, and I hope, like, they kept saying that they sold out. I hope that's completely true. I mean, I saw it on some dealers' websites. It appeared it was still there. So I don't know if they were getting a sell in confused with a sell out. But either way, it's like there may not be product out there, right? So it's very difficult. But that being said, if I'm taking a game that I know is just exclusively for the retail customer, then I want to emphasize what the retail customer likes, right? And you're going to do that. You don't need 2.5 minutes to do that. You need 30, 45 seconds max. If you're going to show artwork, you're going to show sculpts, you're going to show lights. You're showing nothing else but that, because you're not even worried about gameplay, right? You could just present that and say, okay, gameplay reveal at this time, and then you have it all controlled, right? It could be two separate things. Why do we have to put all of it together? We don't necessarily have to if that's not our intention to show off. If your intention is to show off just the bells and whistles, just do that. That's perfectly fine, and I think that's perfectly acceptable. And guess what? The people that want to see gameplay, they'll be in the comments saying, where's the gameplay? But they'll also be first in line to watch the gameplay.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly right.
I think that's fair. And I think Wednesday was a surprise. I think it was initially just supposed to be an interview, ask questions, talk, and then it kind of became a gameplay reveal. And unfortunately, that was, we talked about it last week in our last episode that, I feel like there's always pressure with these gameplay reveals, especially from a sales standpoint. You want the gameplay reveal to sell games. Like, oh wow, look how great that is. I'm interested.
First impressions are everything.
Versus gameplay reveals that it's like, ooh, they are bricking a lot of shots.
But if the game is well, what did I tell you guys? Like, off the podcast, off stream, I said, I hope they do not show gameplay on this for their sake. Like, do not show it, just because you could tell what was going to happen. You could tell based off how the trailer was put together. You could tell based on how the layout is. Because if they had those prime shots, if they had it all down, it would have all been presented already. And it wasn't. And you do have that pressure. And when you add pressure, when you add pressure onto a hard layout, that's not very
tough.
shootable, not very, it's,
but you've said that with more than just, like, you've said that with other manufacturers. Like, we had this whole conversation about
Jersey Jack, American Pinball, Spooky,
Stern's
everybody.
X-Men LE reveal stream was not good. It was not, it did not help sell the product.
Well, that game is very dependent, and we'll get around to this. That game's very dependent, I guarantee it, on how it's set up. I guarantee it. You cannot have horizontal shots that go behind the flippers. You can't have that. The same thing happened with Foo Fighters. Like, some people saying that the overdrive mech, right, that bounces back didn't come up. A lot of these things, it's based on setup, and that's user dependent, right? And even then, you're going to have some variation on how's the guide rail, or how these flippers pitched. Is the coils working properly? I mean, I have an Iron Maiden right there. Love that game. Out of box, the plunge was just broken. It was just going straight into a post the whole time. So I had to have Carrie Wing come over and help me with the guide rail just to adjust it back a little bit to help it go around that loop. So this isn't just like anybody but Stern. This happens to everybody. But the reality is, if the game was sold out though, Joel, and we can get into this, here's my thing. If it's sold out, you've already made the sell. That's when in sales, you just,
we've talked about this a lot with Spooky, because Spooky does their reveal, and the last however many games they've had, they've essentially sold out within a day. So then it's just like, and then people are like, when's the gameplay? When's the gameplay? When's the gameplay? And honestly, from a business standpoint, there's no reason. They're already all sold.
You're just going to lose sales. I would tell them the gameplay is going to be when you unbox it and you play it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's just so difficult. Like, I get it. If you still have units to sell, that's when you show the gameplay.
Well,
and
as
I know
a
there's
buyer,
people out there going nuts.
Yeah, you want the gameplay because you want to make sure you're making a good purchase.
You want to justify your purchase.
But
yes.
From a business standpoint, it's sold.
You've already made the sell. What's somebody going to do? Like, put down a deposit, right? And say, well, because I didn't see the gameplay, I'm just going to back out. They might, but guess what? If the game's that popular, there'll be 10 other people ready to like take up that spot. There's already people waitlisted anyways.
Yeah.
Like, why show it?
I have definitely, and I understand I'm in a unique situation with being able to borrow games from Zach, but like, I've totally changed my mentality of like, I'm going to buy a game way after it's revealed. Like, I want to experience it and then let it settle in my head of like, do I miss it? Do I want it back? Do I want that? And the patience of like, you know what? And we talked about this before, the Elwin effect of like, new games comes out. You know what? I've controlled myself. I'm not going to buy this. I'm finally going to pull the trigger on that. That's been out a year, something like that. So at the end of the day, I hope pinball collectors continue to collect and buy games, but it's just, there's so many different people in this hobby. Some people are ready to bite on everything brand new and fresh. They don't want to miss out. FOMO's real, while other people are like, yeah, I just bought Jurassic Park. I know it's been out for years, but like, I'm finally at that point where I know I want to have this in my house. And
I kind of wonder if it's also some of the people that are like, you know what, I'm just going to wait till the code matures, because a lot of these new titles that are coming out, and we're seeing it with John Wick, we're seeing it with X-Men, kind of seeing it with Avatar too. The code isn't complete.
Let's transition. That's a great transition there.
Before we do, Joel, that's the unique dynamic though that we're talking about right now, is that the fact that a game can come out and it can be the same MSRP as a game that's already been completed, manufactured. It's at its full extent. It's won Game of the Year awards and all that. We're in that spot. And then at the same time, we're in the spot to where if you are coming out with a very limited product, that 300, 400, 500 units, right? You're bringing it out to market to where there is considerable competition constantly being manufactured. So it's almost like I said, if you make the sell from there, just make the sell, complete the sell. Don't worry about anything else up to that point, because anything you do afterwards, all it's going to serve is just driving down sales, driving down hype. Because if you've already sold through, right? Like, you're not going to make any more money off of it at that point. It's just not going to happen. All you're going to do is make money for the people that want to flip the game if it's in that situation.
Oh, wow.
So so you got to be careful of that. That's just the reality. And I know that there's people out there probably screaming at us right now, or at least me, like, I got to see the gameplay. And I get it.
Hey, leave a comment. Leave a comment on YouTube. Send us an email.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm just talking from a pure standpoint that if I was part of a company that had 300 games, I would be like, you know what? We're going to focus on selling this out. And if it's already sold out before, I'm more apt not to show the gameplay until it's like it, because it's almost like imagine a console game, right? It sells out for whatever reason. Then you just show a full playthrough of the game before they even get shipped.
Oh, wow.
And then people see it and then they're like, that wasn't what I expected. So yeah. And we're doing this with premium products that are 7 to 12,000, right? Sometimes even 15. And that's kind of like, that's the weird part though. I get it if somebody needs to see the gameplay before buying, but that's also why FOMO exists. It's like you're jumping into the pool, you're going, but that's what makes Stern work because they have pros, they have premiums. You're going to be able to get it at some point.
Let's wrap up, Alice. And what I'm saying is we actually have opinions on the layout, but we're all going to be at Expo. So we're going to have an opportunity to play it. So we will, on our next episode, we will report back what our actual experience is of playing Alice in Wonderland and the layout. And
Travis and I are going to kick Joel's ass on it.
I'm coming back for Joel. I want to give the benefit of the doubt.
This is the revenge year, Joel.
Yeah. Because I beat him in Labyrinth one year. That's what we're
I want to give the benefit of the doubt to this game, though. But honestly, looking at the layout, the code is going to have to pull this game and the way the rules are to the finish line. You cannot take forever to get to the upper playfield. I think everything needs to be accessible and as close to that start button as possible because this layout is going to eat people alive. Like I think it's going to be a difficult layout to play.
All right, Tom, you want to talk about X-Men or Avatar next?
Let's go X-Men.
X-Men. All right, so I have an X-Men LE. I've played the heck out of it. I've streamed it twice. Tom has played X-Men at Lumberjack Johnny's. Is that right?
That is correct.
Travis, you have not touched an X-Men, right?
I've touched an LE box once.
Oh, about that cardboard. All right. So we'll start with Tom then. Tom, initial impressions after playing, and you streamed it, right? You streamed X-Men or you just played it?
No, just played it.
Okay,
well, technically, I guess we did stream it for a tournament.
Yeah, but you weren't like diving into
it.
No. Yeah. Okay, so initial impressions, they did release, it was Monday or Tuesday, they released 0.84 code where they changed some stuff up. Have you played it since the new code was out?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me your thoughts.
So initial impressions, I didn't like it like right off the bat. Okay. And I think it had to do with just one, kind of bare bones code, two, just getting a feel for the game. It's so different than anything else that's been out. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it really is. And three, I just don't like some of the LE features on the game, and that's just me. Like, I don't like when I hit a shot on the right ramp and the wireform breaks and I lose my ball. Yeah. Like, to me, that's like super frustrating. It's like I hit a shot, I made a shot, and now it's gone. Like, why are you doing this to me? And I kind of blame Joel. I don't blame anybody else.
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
No, but then I played it Wednesday night, and actually we have a discussion with Carl. So Carl had played the game and gave his thoughts. I'm not going to share what Carl's thoughts were, but he had brought some things to my attention and basically I looked at some shots different and I'm like, okay, now I understand like how to hit some of these shots, and my scores went up. So I'm feeling better about the game than I did like a week ago. So
he's buying one.
I'm getting a pro.
Yeah. But you went from potentially in on an LE to you're out entirely to I'm not buying the game.
I was always in on the pro. I was never in on the LE.
Gotcha. But you were in and then you were out and now you're back in.
Correct.
Nice. Yeah, I have. So since we last recorded, I have the X-Men LE here. I have full intentions of getting a game either at the end of the year or early next year, but to add a game to my collection. And right now, the pin is Jaws Premium. That's right there. That's what I want to buy. That's the pin. So that's what we got to beat it. We got to beat a Jaws Premium for me to buy something besides a Jaws Premium. My first game of X-Men was over in like 30 seconds. It was brutally bad. Jared's first game, terrible. My buddy Ryan, who's a good player who came over, his first game, horrifically bad. So the first impression of the game is like, I just missed everything. Like the ball, it's gone so fast. So if you're on location,
I had the same impression.
Good. Okay. I'm not. So, if you're on location, I mean, I could see how people put in, $1 and they're like, screw that game and move on to the next one. With that said, I kept playing and I genuinely love the way it shoots. I love the way it shoots. The kinetic satisfaction is fantastic. I really, really like just playing the game. This is a game I said on stream the other night. Sometimes Zach lets me borrow games and I'll stream it for 2 hours and then I don't touch it for 3 days. This is a game like every day I'm coming down here just to play 1 or 2 games, just because I love the way it shoots. I really enjoy it's fun. It's just fun seeing the ball whiz around, some very creative shots. With all that said, if somebody said, Joel, are you going to buy X-Men? If I was going to buy an X-Men today, I'd buy a Pro. And that's just because of exactly what Tom said. The ramp, there's a hand, the Sentinel hand will destroy the ramp, and you got to pay attention. You can save it. You can get lucky. But if you lose focus for a second, if you hit a shot that you're so used to these shots being safe returns of the flipper, if you relax just that tiny bit and you're not ready to nudge or prepare to save that ball, it's gone. So maybe it's my fault. Maybe it's Tom's fault. Maybe we're not paying enough attention. Maybe they'll add something like, on TNA, the scoop is so brutal, the eject, that there's a tiny little ball save. So it knows if it just dumped the ball. Like if there's a tiny little ball save where it's clear, it just dumped the ball and you can't save it. Maybe they'll give you a grace period, something like that. That would be great. But even as of right now, it's very
even the left side where like that finger is and it throws your ball. I've lost balls from that too.
I have had issues with the finger. It worked well, and then since the latest update, it has not worked well. So there's tweaking here, and there's one other mechanical issue, which is the plunge. The plunge is not working great.
And here's the problem, and I know Travis is probably going to say this, which I 100% agree with. This game is definitely, it has to be set up right, because there's so many things on it. Like, I'll give an example of Lumberjack Johnny's game. So initially when it was out, the shooter, the ball would not go around.
Yep.
And that was like super frustrating because 1, you lose your skill shot. 2, the ball comes down and basically it's out of control. And the way the flippers are aligned, you don't have much of a chance to save it.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing is the figure 8 shot. Like I've hit that shot so many times to where I would say like 10% of the time it goes around. Otherwise it like gets hung up on the ramp. And
you're talking about all the way around, right?
All the way around. Yeah.
Okay,
it'll make the shot, but then it won't enter in the other ramp to go through the wire
to feed your flipper. Yeah.
Which is the highway ramp, right? That you're talking about the side ramp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is like, it's like, it's just frustrating, I guess. So it's like, I know I made the shot and it's not doing the thing it should. So, but I think that may be a leveling issue. So I
haven't had that issue at all. My figure 8 area in the back, I thought that would be a brutally hard shot. Like even, with the katana ramp on Deadpool, there was a lot of people that, how do I reliably get that to work? And there's tweaking or, make sure your playfield's waxed, all that stuff. I was expecting that figure 8 back there to be, honestly, on mine, it's very consistent. It's very consistent.
And a shout out to Matt McCarty. We were talking about it, and he mentioned that he was like, the katana ramp on Deadpool, you hit that shot, you don't always make it. I said that's fair.
Yep. But the plunge is the one thing. The plunge and that's what if you look at the owners club, the plunge is a problem. And
it was even like the shooter coming out of there, like that wasn't.
You saw that on the gameplay reveal too. I think the very first plunge didn't even make it, if I remember right. And I remember texting you guys being like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
like you could just tell like something was up with it.
Yeah, what's happening initially? People think, oh, it's just not powerful enough. Put in a bigger spring. I actually took it out, stretched the spring, put it back in. My most consistent shots are probably like a 60% power, 70% power. So what's happening is when there's too much power, there must be something getting airborne. It's a big path, and then it rattles when it lands. So there's going to be some dialing in, which brings up a random question, which is somebody said for this plunge, there's zero reason to short plunge. If you short plunge too, like the shooter lane is the out lane. If you short plunge, you just drain the ball. If you short plunge about halfway up, it's an uncontrollable ball. I don't know why a tournament player would want a short plunge. You want a full plunge every time. You want a full plunge every time. So my question is, why would Stern not remove the plunger and put in a button like Medieval Madness, like Monster Bash? Like, why would they not just make it an auto plunge game every time?
I think that's just not part of their framework. I don't remember the last time they've ever done something like that.
But for this game,
have they ever? I can't think off the top of my head.
Just like the gun games, I can think of like T3 maybe.
Right.
Yeah, but I could see somebody modding this game to make a cool button, remove the shooter rod, put a button in there, and then that way, as an owner, all you're worried about is dialing in the auto plunge. If you can dial that in, because I've seen that with some of the collectors, that the auto plunge, they've got to work 90% of the time, but the manual plunge is still hit or miss. Or the other way around.
It's kind of one of those things from all the videos I've watched on it so far. It's like, if it does make it, the plunge, it's just kind of like, it just barely makes it.
It's a slow shot.
Right. And even if you try to make it scream, like you said, then it gets hung up on something back there and it still won't make it anyway. So
I assume the people at Stern
the Lumberjack game, like now 95% of the time it makes it around. Which
that's good. I don't know.
And
it's
what
going to
did
be
you
a
guys do to
game
fix
issue.
It? There at Lumberjack.
I didn't. I just mentioned it to Dave, and like,
what did he do to fix it? Do you know?
I don't know. I have to ask him.
Well, what's weird is
that'd be good info to have. I'm sure there's a lot of owners out there like, I want to know this.
There are people on the owners forum on Pinside that they got it all dialed in, and then the code update messed with it. Like, it's weird. It's like the code update, all it did is it defaulted the auto plunge coil strength to 255. It defaulted it at max. But even then, when they go in and lower it back down to the old default, it's not working. So I don't know what they did, but I would, I trust that Stern, this is something they'll figure out. Absolute worst case, somebody will figure out, like even Godzilla had some weird plunge issues where there were aftermarket mods to, so it wouldn't surprise me if somebody figures out, oh yeah, add this 3D printed part here or this rail, and it makes it more consistent. Wait and see. We'll see on that. But mechanical issues aside, I'm loving the way this game shoots. It is awesome. Code, though, has a long ways to go. And what I mean by that is initially when the code released, you would play, there was 4 modes available. Once you beat 2, you could go to the future. And then when you come back, there would be 4 new modes available. As of right now, when you hit a white shot and then a blue shot, you're in a mode. All 8 modes are available.
White shot?
There you go. Yes.
And blue shot. Got it.
But the thing is, there's nothing to do. Like, once you've played all 8 modes,
you can go to the future.
But there's nothing. Once you're in the future, there's no reason to be in the future. The future's dangerous.
Bleak. Let's talk about the future.
There.
It's bleak.
Okay,
that's on theme.
There's nothing to do there.
Right, because you're dead.
There's nothing to do there.
Shouldn't be anything to do.
Yet there's also nothing you can see there because all the lights are blue.
The GI.
The GI is completely blue.
Really?
I do not like that at all.
Is that on the new code, or was
That's
that
always
always
been
there?
That was always
So,
I need to
been
watch
like
more
that.
video then.
There
Yeah.
are red, white, and blue GI bulbs all throughout the game. One thing I do like is when you tilt the game, not tilt, but like when you nudge and you get a danger, all the red on the play field freaks out. It's actually a really cool effect.
Yeah.
Like the
I
whole
mean,
game
that would be
flashes red.
like my only thing. Like, put some more white in there, like with
Maybe
the
they
GI.
would. I think that should be an easy setting that they would allow, like future GI, and the option is either blue or blue and white. Like,
Yeah.
So then I guess let me ask you guys this then. Does it feel like as of right now that there's enough, is there enough of a difference between being in the present to being in the future to where you're like, yeah, I want to go to the future?
No, there's no
No.
reason.
Okay.
I do not want to go to the future. And what I mean is you have the ability to control with the action button whether you stay in the future or you return to the past. Right now, there's zero reason to stay in the future. I would assume they will build something in there, whether or not there's like you have to defeat X number of sentinels to get this, or maybe you can bring characters into the future, or maybe this. Like there needs to be some reason where I want to stay in the future. Right now, there isn't. There's no reason to stay in the future. So it is literally you get into the future, you hit your button, so it says return to the past, you hit a cerebro shot, and you're out. Like, and then you're back. You're back to
You're just like deuces. I'm out of here.
Yeah, there's no reason to be in the
Pretty
future.
much. Future sucks. I mean, and it does in the storyline, I guess. But
sure, but
you
they've got to develop something. There's
So
got to be a reason to want to stay in the future longer
and that's what I was
than
going
you
to
need
ask
to.
you guys. I still don't know much about this code at all because it's just limited on what I've seen. So, I mean, is there, just basing it off how the comic books were, are you trying to save people from the past to pull them into the future to be like your ally or something like that?
I think on the LCD, there's the characters on the side, and then every mode is related to a character. So once you beat a mode, it's clear that you've gained that character.
Okay.
But that's it. There's no additional perk as of right now. There's no, it's not like I see that character now in the future. I would assume there will be something there where there will probably be a strategy of like, oh, I want to play Juggernaut first because then I have Professor X, and then I want to play this, and then that way I get Magneto. And if I have those two, they give me these perks, so that makes this mode, there. I would assume there's going to be a rhyme and reason there. Yeah,
definitely early code.
So, and then the other aspect is the Danger Room. I really like the Danger Room. I think the Danger Room is a ton of fun. I think it's a very unique thing. It shoots well. Like I like the way it shoots, but they've toted that this Danger Room is going to be it's a training room, so it will make you stronger. So it's supposed to give you more perks, whether it's bonus X, playfield mode. I don't know. As far as I can tell, it's not giving me anything right now. So there's no reason to get in there
there's no
and grind away.
There's no cues saying, at least in my eyes, that, oh, I'm getting some value out of being in here.
True.
Usually I get in there and I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Get out. Yep.
Okay. So I guess then the proper question to ask you two, because we've talked about this a lot in the past. Does it feel like the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game is there? Like, does that feel complete at all?
Possibly.
Complete?
I mean, because you're just trying to get into modes.
As in, do you feel like you have a complete game based off the 10 minutes? Like the first 10 minutes?
No, because you can do stuff like you can hit the beast labs area a bunch, and I don't really see what it's giving me. The Danger Room, like you can, so you have access to these areas that are very clearly not fully fleshed out.
I think the beast one with the newer code, it's like
more fleshed out. It is more. There's more. I just don't like that's a whole area though, because it's a very target. I'm very curious to play the pro, which is just going to be a static one target that's a leaper target. Like, okay, so I don't see the value necessarily. Just for our listeners, you guys are talking about the mech that's to the left of the Sentinel head. Correct. Right? Correct. Yep. So on the pro, like you said, it's just the leaper target type thing. And on a premium LE, it's very target multi, or it's like a Newton ball. Like a kinetic ball up top, right? Very target. Where it hits. Yeah. Okay. It's cool. It's just I'm just not experiencing the code benefit of like, on a pro, I'm assuming I hit the target. It's either you hit it or you don't. On this, it's a very target. It's like, is there value in hitting it harder versus just grazing it? That's the whole very target Newton ball thing. So honestly, right now, if I stream this game for 2 hours, it's really just let me just chip away at these 8 modes. And what I like is there's a perfect way to achieve each mode. Some of the modes, it's not very clear what that is. I don't even know if it's coded in yet, but I've just been achievement hunting, like just beating the mode first try, beating the mode perfectly. That's what I'm focusing on. There are 3 multi-balls currently in the game. You can start all 3. None of them really tell you very well how close you are to starting them. Like, I've always been surprised when Save the City is lit. It's like, I had no idea I was close to starting that. So
there's no indication of progress on the LCD or on the playfield or anything?
I'm not even sure I've seen Save the City, to be honest.
Well, I have. Apparently, you have to hit all the city shots enough, like all the different main shots, and then it's lit in the middle. There's a Save the City insert that'll flash, and then the middle shot will flash yellow. If you hit that, it's going to start your multi-ball.
But you have no idea how you're progressing towards that.
But when you're saying city shots, again, just to be clear for the listeners, you're talking about like each specific major shot is considered a city shot.
They all have names, like downtown, uptown, midtown,
downtown,
highway,
was it subway, something like that is another one. There's 5 of them, right?
Yep.
Uptown, midtown, downtown, subway, highway.
Yep. So you have to hit those on the rule card. It basically says hit those evenly, and then. But it's like I've sat even with the glass off, like I've thrown the ball.
The rule card says hit those evenly.
Give me
no
1
way
second.
It says that. No way. Actually, get the rule card out, Joel. Let's go over this. Tom, no way it says that. Hit these evenly.
Where the heck is it?
Now I need to bring up the
playfield. I haven't read it.
I'm going to bring up the playfield.
Okay, no, it just says. It just says shoot city shots to explore the city.
Mm-hmm.
And start Save the City multi-ball. That's all it says.
Explore the area.
It's like, just says explore.
As vague as possible.
It's so vague. And that's my issue with that. And even the Sentinel, I understand with the Sentinel, on an LE, you bash it enough that it pops up. Then you bash it enough that it'll drop its jaw. And then you bash it enough to start multi-ball. That's another reason why I kind of like the Pro. There is no real difference besides visual of it being up or down. Like it's not like it's a diverter. It's not like it now is in the way and it wasn't in the way. It doesn't change the shots. So that's why, once again, I think like I'm like pro. Like I think the Pro is a good buy in this game because the layout's the same, the shots are the same. You get all the great parts of the game for cheaper. That's why I'm leaning towards Pro. But hey, if you're an LE buyer or you're all in on X-Men, I think you'll love your LE. I think the game's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think the only thing when I first saw it, I preferred the Pro version of it more, and it was strictly because of the hands on the wire form.
The danger,
like I'm just not a big fan of hitting a shot like Tom said earlier. I'm just not a big fan at all at completing a shot and then being punished for it.
You can disable it.
And I probably would. Yeah. But then it's like, okay, so I'm paying extra money for a feature that I'm not going to use. You know, that's kind of one of those things. Like I get it. Like a lot of people like that type of randomness, which is totally cool. It's just for me, when I'm in the flow of things, it's like seeing a ball just get plopped down on the playfield. I'm just like,
it's not a plop. It just goes. It's ripping towards your flippers.
See, even Godzilla.
Tournament players don't like losing their ball.
No, not at all. But
right.
Even Godzilla, I didn't like it on Godzilla. The only saving grace for that is it starts a multi-ball, like the bridge multi-ball. Like it's cool visually seeing these things happen. Right? It's cool. Like a wire form breaks or the bridge breaks. Like it's on theme, obviously. It's just from a playing perspective, I'm just kind of like, okay. Now,
maybe if it started a feature like a multi-ball and I had a ball save, okay, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, that would be a little bit more.
Well, I mean, we talked earlier about collecting characters.
Like
so maybe you have a character. Maybe you get, if you beat Magneto, he gives you a Sentinel, ball save. Like maybe that would be one of the perks that like there's a ball save that turns on every time a Sentinel attacks. Maybe there would be, they just build it in the code where I want to play this mode first because I want this character, and then it'll protect me the rest of the game from the hands. Like they could do that. There's plenty of stuff
easily you could pull stuff from what they alluded to in Deadpool Wolverine. It's like if you beat Magneto, you have his helmet. You can do something with the helmet now or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
All kinds of stuff that you can do.
I honestly, I mean, I just think it's funny because people on stream, they ask, is this going to be a top 10 game? Is this that? I think the layout's fantastic. I really love the layout. Like, I'm having a lot of fun the way it shoots. But if you're going to buy this game, there's a good chance you're going to have to mess with it or tweak it to get that layout to shoot really well. And just know it's early code. It is early code.
Yep.
And
I mean, if you want me to shill, I'll say, hey, it's a top 5 game right now. Right now.
Well, yeah,
you should get out there and buy now.
You've asked some tough, critical questions about this game, so clearly you must hate it. And I looked at the time, so we do need to move forward. But it's
no, you're fine. It's just the bottom line is it's pinball, right?
Yep.
And we talked about last time what could possibly make this game play hard. I think personally, this is one of those games that if you get an elite player on it, an elite player is going to do elite things. That's just the reality of it. But I do believe if you get an average player to a below average player on it, it's going to be a hard sled, right? It's going to be a little bit difficult, but that's okay because if you have the game at home, maybe that's a cool thing. Like I've gotten to where there's some, I would prefer to play some of my classic games over the modern games because I know I'm not going to have a 30 or 45 minute game. I'm just going to have like a 5-minute game where I can actually play with my family more than a 4-player game. So like, I get it. And I think on location, I think that this has potential to be a very fun location game because if you set it up right and it does play hard, more coin drop. And then you get people to have a bigger challenge off things. I just, I'm interested to see what they do with it. But yeah, I think with this game, and I haven't got the chance to play it yet, it's very much setup dependent. And I think it's going to be very polarizing moving forward compared to if people like the pro or the premium. I don't think out of all the things I've heard people talk about, I haven't heard it be this like split in half.
I know.
Of people saying, I don't think I would like this version. I'd like this version.
I hope that your first experience of playing X-Men is at Expo, and I want to be playing against you that first game because I think I have a chance of beating you.
I mean, it might have to be. I was trying to save it for content to say, hey, my first game ever on this, but we haven't got the pros yet since they did the LE. So maybe I'll just film there. Maybe Joel will make a guest appearance on the Pinball Company's YouTube channel.
I'm ready.
It'll be flipping out's rep.
Do you guys think
Pinball
it's
Company's
weird
rep going head to head?
Do you guys think it's weird that they went LE first before Pro? No.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
You think honestly, they should keep doing that? Because here's why. They've even admitted it's the retail customer is their primary customer right now. They buy the most of something. And locations are still going to buy their game regardless. They're still going to get the pro regardless. Yeah. If you put yourself in position to where you're getting LEs out and you're getting them out quickly, that's a value prop that's above any other company that's out there. Like where are the Pulp LEs right now? Yeah. Right. They ain't my house.
Are the Avatar CEs out right now? Right. It's just, and that's how it is. It's not to bash those companies, but I'm saying that's a value prop right there for Stern. It's like, you'll get your LEs out immediately and then we'll go to the others. Like locations will still buy.
I also think Stern typically codes premium code first because it's a lot easier to disable features than to add it in. So if they're this early on in the code, if all they were doing is building out base pro code, now all of a sudden they're having to build in all the logic of the hands breaking and the guy coming up and down and building in animations for this and that. I think it's a lot easier to build for the pro premium code and then tweak it down. But there's a few, what I will say, you said pro players are going to do really well on this. There have been times on stream when I've been playing this game where elite play.
There's
I'm far from elite player.
What I'm getting at is there's a big difference between somebody that's, in the pro rankings or even a player that's like top 50, top 100 or an elite player. Like I will be honest, I'm not an elite player.
I definitely am not an elite player.
You're talking about the 1% of the 1%.
So not us.
No, we're talking about the ones that literally levitate above the pin when they play and they transcend reality. Those
see our Pulse podcast for the elite players.
Those elite, the Z-Max and the Eschers. What I was saying though is there's been 2 or 3 modes where I've comboed 3 or 4 shots together. Boom, mode's over. Like you can do it because of the way the layout is and the way it feeds your flippers. And if you know what shot to keep going back and forth, that's super satisfying. My only complaint is when you beat the mode, it just immediately, like the mode, You beat the mode, but it doesn't ever stop the ball. There's no scoop. There's nothing to stop the ball.
Oh, it's just done.
I would really love the last shot, kind of like in Turtles or something like that. I would love for the last shot of a mode to stop the ball. Stop the ball, in my opinion, to show the animation or show something for me to know I completed the mode. Because what can happen is boom, boom, boom. You've hit 3 shots, 4 shots. You beat the mode. And now I rip another shot. And next thing I know, I've qualified my next mode and I've immediately started it. And it just happens. It blurs together so fast that it takes away the moment. It takes away the satisfaction of completing something. It's like, I'm out of that battle. I'm already into the next one.
Versus, did you like the LCD animation?
I was able to see it. Because the ball's. Anyways, okay. So X-Men has a long ways to go. People are going to enjoy it at Expo. I absolutely think people will enjoy playing this game. They will enjoy the layout. I do have nothing but positive feelings towards the future of this game. I'm excited to see how it develops, how it continues to.
Great play on words there, Joel, even if you didn't mean it.
Positive feelings on, I don't know what I said, but sure.
On the what, Joel? On the?
I don't know what I said.
Future.
On the future, yeah. The future is bleak in X-Men, but not for the game. The future's nothing but positive. Okay.
Damn, Tom.
Avatar.
Damn.
I just looked at time. We got so much more to talk about. We'll talk about Avatar real short and sweet.
Did we talk about it last time anyways?
We did. We talked about, I had streamed it once. I since streamed it with Mark Seiden. I don't know if you had played it yet, Tom, when we talked about it last time.
That's true. We didn't.
You have streamed it now.
Yeah.
What I want to say is we got some negative feedback. We got some negative feedback on apparently some of the negative questions or the hot takes that Travis had.
Don't ask you questions. That's why
he was asking. And what I will say is, and it pains me to say it, but I think he kind of thinks a little. He might be one step ahead of me sometimes. Okay, and I don't like it.
Just not with the beard.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
because some of the questions he had as I was describing the code, as I was explaining how to play the game, he was very quick to have these thoughts. Well, what does that mean? What is this? What is that? And I explained it, and then here I am a week later, and I'm like, Travis was right. Travis was right. The concerns he had or the questions he had are valid. And what I mean by that is Avatar got to the point, and the current code is not finished. Avatar had got to the point with me. Sure, there's 22 modes in it, but to start each individual mode is very complex. So out of 22 modes, I feel like I only saw 10. And then there's the Savako modes. There's, 8 of those. I think out of those, I may have only seen 3 or 4. So sure, I could have started the game and very, very purposefully tried to hit very specific shots to experience a new mode I hadn't experienced before. I didn't do that. If you're going to buy the game, I absolutely think there will be modes that you will find for the first time a year or 2 years after you've bought the game, which is kind of cool. It's a little nugget hidden away that you didn't experience. But for somebody that just wants to play the game over and over and over again, sure, there's a ton there, but I felt like I was experiencing a lot of the same thing over and over again. Also, the way the multi-balls are, they're the exact same. They're not fleshed out. They're going to do that. It's just not where it is. So my goal when I was playing the game was to spell Pandora. I did it. There's no wizard mode. It's not there yet. Should be soon. So once I check that box, I'm like, okay, well, why am I playing this game? What do I want to do to play this game?
Why are you playing this game?
Why am I playing this game? What I realized was on the JJP Media Day, I actually played a game with Mark Seiden, and he had a 1 billion point game. And he told his coworkers, he's like, I did it. I finally got my 1 billion point game. The designer of the game had never gotten to 1 billion points. So that became my goal. I want to get 1 billion points. So for the first time, this is rare for me. I'm playing a game for points. I'm not playing it for progression because the progression isn't built into the game yet. I'm playing it for points. So what is the best way to get points in Avatar? You hit the kid targets. It lights the in-lane, out-lane rewards. Then you hit the shot to do max toxin. Max toxin will max out your next mode at 4x. So that means the whole time you play that mode, or you'll start at 4x. But as you're shooting your shots, you're shooting your arrows, and that XP or that multiplier slowly goes down, unless you have unlimited arrows. How do you get unlimited arrows? You hit the kid targets again, and then you hit the eclipse ramp. It'll roll over the unlimited arrows, and then you're set. You got max toxin, you got unlimited arrows. That means for the entirety of that mode, you will have 4x. If you can then start a mode and then start a multi-ball, you're good. That's what you want to do. So all of a sudden, this game,
How do you do the max
right?
toxin thing?
Max toxin, you hit the kids, you're going to roll over the left in lane.
Left
Unlimited
in.
arrow, you hit the kids, you roll over the right in lane.
Gotcha.
And you can change that with the flippers.
It's almost like we figured that out the last podcast. As soon as you explained it.
You had, because I voiced it. You're like, wait, there's unlimited arrows, so why would you not just hit the kids every time? It's like, so even though there's a ton to do in this game, now all of a sudden I'm doing this game in a very specific way. Where the hang up is that the perks there for your next mode. You can start a mode accidentally. You can start a mode if you hit one shot 3 times, you start a Sabako mode. So now all of a sudden I've spent all this time, I got everything in place, and all I'm trying to do is hit the shots to start my multi-ball, and whoops, I just hit the right orbit 3 times. Boom, Sabako mode. Whoops, I grazed the spider target lower left 3 times, Sabako mode. So I have 4X with unlimited arrows for that mode, but that's not what I like. That's not what I wanted it for.
On doing.
I wasn't. Right. I need it for the multi-ball. I need it for the main mode. So I started getting frustrated. with the game because you do all this work to set it up and then you can't capitalize on it. And unfortunately, I never got my billion points. My billion points while I played it. But it was frustrating because it was negative there was questions that Travis had, and turns out he was right. That's what I was doing. That's what I was focusing on.
I'll play devil's advocate here, though.
Please.
Were you at least having fun trying to get there, right? Because people are going to enjoy games vastly different ways, right? Yeah. And if you actually look at how pinball rules are, a lot of times, every single game, you can follow the same exact path every single time and be on a loop if you're wanting to maximize points. And as a matter of fact, like 99% of the games are like that. You have very specific strategies. And I know it's just guys. Go ahead. Yeah, but it's just my concern for what Avatar is, because there's so much there.
Yeah.
Right. You're still going to be relegated to only seeing like a certain percentage of it, way more than everything else. And that's for better or for worse. Like you have to make a conscious decision that you're going to go after the modes beyond. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. It's hard for me to say. Obviously on location, not so good. At home, maybe that's great. If you don't care about points at all, you care about just the playing through the movie, playing through something, just doing that, then maybe it works just fine. Because there's been plenty of games we've done stuff like that.
That's just what I was going to say. In hindsight, I enjoyed playing for Pandora, spelling Pandora a whole lot more, because it actually forces you play Sabako modes, play the main story modes, play the multi-balls, get the jackpots. It's forcing you to play different areas of the playfield, different aspects of the code. I enjoy that way more than trying to build the perfect stack and then maximize or capitalize the multi-ball, so which I understand you tournament players. You played
for Pandora, though, right? Is that what you just said?
That was what I was doing, but it's not in the game yet. So I stopped doing it because there was no reward at this point.
Then, Tom, how did you play it? Because you played it on location, you streamed it. What were you trying to do on it?
I was mainly just trying to start multi-balls, and I was trying to figure out like the super skill shots, like what's the best strategy for that, which I found just like plunging around and trying to go into Vuck was the easiest for me. But my main focus was multi-ball and then the Eclipse shot, starting Eclipse, trying to build up that jackpot, and then trying to nail that and getting a bunch of points doing that.
And I think that's my main focus was not game too.
Yeah, my main focus was not modes. I had at the time I was like, I don't even know how to start a mode. Like, so I was just like,
did you not get your like flow chart thing out or whatever that is?
Yeah, not really. I mean, we had it there, but I was just, it was more game discovery. How does this shoot?
Yeah.
I think the game shoots really good. I mean, I was surprised when I first saw pictures of it. I was kind of like, man, those shots look really tight up top. But yeah, I think it's a good shooting game. It's just,
did it look pretty in person? Like the light show, the way the colors are?
Probably as far as a light show goes, it's probably the best game I've ever seen with a light show.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really good. That's really good.
That's some awesome praise right there.
It's very impressive.
Because look right behind Tom. Tom has nothing but lights behind him, so he would know.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, if you're in on an Avatar, I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just trying to like, for what people thought Travis was crapping on the game for, it turns out he was right.
Oh.
It turns out he was right in a way.
It is what it is. I had people text me, be like, why did you not talk about X-Men hardly at all? Why did you just talk about Avatar the whole time? Like, it's like anything else. You cannot please everybody. You can't. The way that I like thinking about pinball is asking questions, because these are the same questions I ask you two numbnuts off the podcast. Like, if I have the questions, because that's how you seek information. And I was in a unique position. So was Tom. For Joel, actually knew more about a pinball machine than we did. Yeah. So we had to figure it out in real time. Like, how's this going?
Which I loved on the Pinball Pulse podcast. You said, yeah, we had to talk to Joel about Avatar rules. And Escher goes, if you're looking to Joel for rules, then you're cooked, is what he said. And I was like, I'll take it. No, I mean, I would, if you're in on an Avatar, I actually think the game is fantastic. It's really fun. I'm just very curious to see how they flesh out the rules. And there's always balancing needed. I just know it's interesting watching, you tournament players, or, when I watch certain tournaments stream, there's usually always a meta. There's a thing that all four players are trying to accomplish the same path. And it's weird to me when a pinball machine, which is supposed to have so many different paths, all of a sudden you just have one. That's not particularly fun for me. I don't like having a one path game. And it was just weird in my mind where it's like, if you're playing for points in Avatar right now, it is kind of a one path game.
And that's okay, because I'll play games different for a tournament than I will sometimes when I'm at home trying maybe to get to a wizard mode.
Sure.
I mean, because in a tournament, I know, like, yes, I'd love to get to the wizard mode, but realistically, the game's set up so hard that I'm probably not going to get to a wizard mode on this game.
Yeah. And it
just depends on how you like a game and how you view a game. There's fun that can be had in working through everything that's in the rules and just finding one particular path. And just trying to stick to that path, because that requires skill. You have to do it skillfully. So
there was a time as a collector, like, I didn't want a game if it didn't have a wizard mode in it. I was I was just like, and then like I started playing games like Dracula, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like, I like how you can stack the multi-balls and blow it up, but there's no wizard mode in Dracula.
Right. And you just touched base on something that I think is really important that a lot of people overlook. Here is a great way to, 1, learn your game, 2, have more fun. Joel, take notes, get your notebook out. This is great information I'm about to give you.
Let me get my,
I'm just going to write on my hand.
All right.
Let me get my John Wick keychain pencil. Okay, I'm ready.
Right. Set your game up on 5 ball. Okay. And here's what you do. Your very first 2 balls, you do nothing but chimp flip. You don't pay attention to what you're hitting, anything. You just go. All gas, no brakes.
Okay.
So then when you start back on your 3rd ball, which is essentially you can just say, okay, this is my ball 1.
Sure.
You've set up different things in the game. You have no idea really what you set up, but now you have to observe it. And now it gives you a different dynamic, because then you decide, okay, what's my goal? Do I have a point goal that I want to get to? Oh, I have a multiplier that's close to being finished. Do I want to do that? Oh, I have a multi-ball right here, but I don't want to start that yet. I want to bring in a mode. So now you have to skillfully not start that multi-ball, but start the mode instead. So that's a way that you can approach it. And I could see Avatar kind of being that way, just like you said. If you hit certain shots, you got to do that to start the mode. What if you just blindly just silverback flip everywhere, and then you got to observe where are you at? And that's just another way to get more fun, because then you're thinking through your game, you're learning the game, then you're forcing yourself to do something a little bit different each time. And I think that's where you can get some fun out of it.
That's how you'll see Save the City there, Tom. Next time you play X-Men, just chimp flip through the first 2, and you'll hit enough of the city things.
Set the game on 5 ball too. Yeah,
and you'll see it lit. So I think it's good.
You're not going to chimp flip that game.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, those first 2 balls are gone.
I saw somebody do it on stream. I sent you the video, Tom. I'm not going to say what stream or what video.
You're not talking about me, are you?
No.
No. It wasn't you. No,
Travis.
don't worry. It was the most amazing thing ever. No, we were talking
Nice.
like double flips at the same
great.
time. They could not miss a shot. And they started multi-ball and everything. I was just like, this is fantastic. I was so fired up by it. It was awesome.
Okay, well, we'll get to our last topic. Just to round out Avatar, I would say if you're in on it, I think you're going to enjoy the game, and I'm excited for more people to play it at Expo. The layout is really fun to explore.
At Expo, I haven't got to play it yet. I want to play.
I'm ready. The layout is very fun to explore. It's a cool game. It really is a cool game. It's just like we were saying with X-Men. I'm very curious to see how they finish out the code and then start to balance it. But they're doing a whole lot right. Like Tom said, the light show is actually really good. JJP usually gets accused of just all the lights all the time. But I think it's they found a good balance of a fun light show, but also choreographs what to do well.
So you can tell what to do?
Oh, yeah.
Based off the light show? Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to hold you to that. Once I play it, if I'm confused, I'm going to yell out, F you, Joel, while you're next to me.
Please do. Yeah. If you, I made a tutorial, like a real quick tutorial video. It's on the Flippin' Out YouTube channel.
I'm not watching your tutorial, Joel. I already asked you about rules. Do not subject me to this, please.
I think it shows pretty well. I think it's a decent job showing what to do in the game. So, okay.
All right. So maybe I'll watch it before we play it.
Right.
Okay.
That leaves us with the, I'll be standing right there. It just ask me and I'll just point,
Dude, we did that last year on Labyrinth, and I'm convinced you told me the opposite way to go.
I didn't.
This is the only way you won.
I did not play you head-to-head in Labyrinth. I played Labyrinth, set up a really good score. You waited in line with Monica, and Monica told me afterwards, Travis is pissed because his score is lower than yours.
That's had a coach. You had a coach.
I sure did.
I watched somebody there tell you, hit this shot.
Travis at Barrels of Fun. Yeah. Okay, final topic as we're running out of time. Expo. So this is your kind of pre-Expo what to do. We've kind of already talked about JJP. Play Avatar. Have a good time. Talk to Mark Seiden will be there. I know Keith will be there. Talk to Eric. Eric knows this stuff. Like, talk to the employees. If you have questions about Avatar, ask Travis, ask me, ask Tom, or ask a JJP employee.
Don't ask me.
Yes.
That's Eric. Eric explains the game really well. He explained it. I think, Tom, were you there with me when he walked us through Godfather?
Yes.
Maybe it's Joel. Somebody was there.
Yeah,
okay,
he's great. Eric is awesome.
No,
but talk to the people.
It was Joel.
Talk to the JJP people. They're awesome. If you play it for the first time, hit the dive shot. It's the scramp. It's the up down. Hit it once, it'll pop open. Hit it again. That's how you get to the lower play field. That's all you need. So that's JJP. Stern will have X-Men. Obviously, play X-Men. There's a chance they might have something else. There are rumors that there might be something else. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. If there's something else, play the something else.
Nobody tells me anything.
Else. I don't know. So Stern, definitely play X-Men. Play all the other games that you haven't played. Play Wick. Play Wick. If you haven't played Wick, play Jaws. Play all the good stuff. I know Venom Code is really a lot more fleshed out. All the fun stuff. So check it out. That's Stern. Barrels of Fun, as far as I know, just has Labyrinth. I don't think they're revealing anything new, but they've continually added more stuff into Labyrinth. Play the game, especially if it has a topper. The callouts are awesome. Talk to the people at Barrels of Fun. They're all super nice. Barrels of Fun. American Pinball, as far as I know, nothing new. So it'll be Barrio's Barbecue and Hot Rod. It's a whole name. Play it. Cuphead is the rumored next game. I don't think they're revealing it. I think they're saving it just because of everything else that's coming out. So play Barbecue. Talk to Steve Bowden. There's good people at America.
Eat some barbecue while you play it.
Yes.
That would be good. Like, just have a smoker there.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd go to the booth.
Spooky. As far as I know, Spooky will be there. I don't think they're revealing anything new. I think the next Spooky game is probably late in the year, maybe early next year, but they should have Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Looney Tunes. We played that at TPF. I'm excited. Those are two of the games I'm excited to play more of because they've spent, there's another, 6-8 months of code in there. They've dialed it in. They've been manufacturing it for a long time. I'm excited to wait in line and play both of those games and review those and compare those. Do either of you have access to either of those games? Looney Tunes or
there's a Looney
Texas?
Tunes at Lumberjack Johnny's.
Do you play it often?
Not often, no.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll be looking to you, Tom, to tell me the rules or Bug will be there. Bug, Spooky Luke. There's really good people at Spooky, including Chris Franchi. I'm assuming Chris Franchi will probably be in the spooky booth or around there. So say hi to him. What else do we have? What I'm forgetting. Oh, CGC. They might. I mean, this rumored Cactus Canyon remake kit. I don't know. I don't know if they're at a point of showing that, play testing that. If so, just look. If there's long lines in front of CCR, it's probably because there's a kit installed. There's something new in that game. Otherwise, I mean, that game's been out for a while. Obviously, I'm in. CCR behind me. I love that game. If I'm ready for whatever this kit is. But the rumor is it's a new hardware mech with additional code. I don't know if they're ready to reveal that or not. Otherwise, play Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction should be there.
Do you think there'll be an LE there?
They've got to have at least one LE there. They've had LEs in the past with the topper and everything.
Do you think they're making LEs yet?
I don't think they're making them yet. No, I don't think that's a thing. Our good friends
October for sorry.
it is. Our good friends Loser Kid, which I see is Travis's shirt, his tan line shirt. They just did an awesome interview with the Electronic
Playground?
Electronic Playground. There we go. Shout out Electric Bat Arcade. Why not? Rachel and Kale. But Electronic Playground, they just announced a new topper that they're making for Attack from Mars. So I know they'll be there. Check out that topper. That should be pretty cool.
I know Joel's forgetting this, but we're going to be there with fun houses too.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's just a TPC booth.
The pinball company. Look for Travis.
And we're supposed to have I think 5 fun houses, including 2 LEs on the 2.0, and I think 3 classics that are old. And Tom loves the LE. I heard all about it from him.
Loves that art.
He absolutely loves it.
Tom's got the soundboard out. I have not played the new Funhouse, so I'm looking forward to playing that. For all the listeners out there, we give each other shit on our own projects, completely. But no,
I did not like the LE artwork.
He didn't, and he didn't like how it played either. I think did it play well?
Oh man,
I couldn't tell.
You could be honest.
When you're used to shooting Funhouse and looking at the artwork for things, and it's completely different, it's a little
throws you off.
It throws you off quite a bit.
Tom is saying buy the classic. That's what he's saying right there.
Get a classic.
Speaking of art,
so I will be there, and then we also have Joel, and we also have a seminar at 7:00 on Thursday night.
And I think Travis is presenting.
I'm supposed to be in there. I don't know how much I'm going to actually talk, but if you want to see me be super awkward working a job, you'll see that. But otherwise, I think we're at booth 124, I think, in the expo hall. So come by, say hello, talk some pinball. Tell me how wrong I am about things to my face. That's always fun. I always enjoy that as well.
I'll be in the tournament area streaming. So,
and where's Joel going to be?
Everywhere.
When are you and Jared getting there?
Jared and I are getting there Friday morning. We're getting there Friday morning, and we early Friday, and then we leave late Saturday. Speaking of which, Dwight, Saturday night, Dwight every year does Let's Make a Deal. It's actually awesome.
I'm looking forward to that.
Apparently, Stern have $4,000 worth of prizes that they're giving away. 4,000, including a topper. Yes. So Dwight reached out to me. I went last year, but butts and seats. That's what Dwight's like. I need butts and seats. So
and that's at 9:30 p.m. right?
9:30
at night. And
Saturday.
Make sure you set aside time to go to that. And it is straight up. Let's make a deal like the show. So I know the whole thing of you get money and then you can buy things, and that's how you get. He asks questions and he pulls up different contestants. So all the Let's Make a Deal things hey, does anybody have dice? I don't know. It's I don't know. Figure out all that stuff. Or if you come in a costume, there's a whole thing to get money. But it's fun. It's genuinely fun. I went last year, and it's trivia. And it's just, even if you're not actually one of the participants, just doing the trivia and watching is really, really fun. So Let's Make a Deal, 9:30 at night. Go to Dwight's Let's Make a Deal. A ton of prizes.
There are so many seminars.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, what are the main seminars from actual manufacturers?
Well, I think every manufacturer has a seminar. But I realized I forgot a lot of manufacturers.
I can't believe there's 3 tours. There's the Logan Arcade, Jersey Jack, and Stern. Each
I think American Pinball
days.
Also, right?
Yep. American
on one of those days, yeah.
Stern's tour is on Thursday.
Sure.
Friday?
Sure. You're pronouncing
Thursday.
it wrong, Joel.
Tour. I don't know, but go to all the things. What I was going to say, other manufacturers, we talked about it earlier. Alice in Wonderland should be there. I think they're going to have 3. So everybody wait in line and play that.
Is Dutch Turner going to be there?
Turner Pinball. Apparently Ninja Eclipse they've started manufacturing those. They're going to be there. Pinball Brothers will be there. There's probably going to be an ABBA.
Saturday,
play that, ABBA, Queen.
Saturday is like Stern night on the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Making of Jaws, making of Wick, Uncanny X-Men seminar.
Yeah,
and then let's make a deal.
You can either sit in seminars, you can play pinball. There's so much to do.
The 7:30 p.m. seminar on Friday. My God, this is the first time I've seen this. Have you guys seen this? 40 years of Pinball Expo, as told by some of the talented people who make it happen. Like Pat Lawler, Larry DeMar.
Hosted by Pat Lawler, yeah.
Yeah, like Keith Johnson, Roger Sharp, Steve Ritchie. There's going to be a lot of people there.
Well, I've definitely forgotten stuff, but I feel like that's quite a long list. If you're on the fence to go to Pinball Expo in Chicago,
what are you doing?
You should go. Try to do your best to get there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be there Friday, Saturday. My brother will as well. Please come say hi. We actually have some flipping out stream swag we're happy to give out. We still have some triple drain magnets we'll give out if you see us.
If you see Joel,
say hi to Tom, say hi to Travis. If you see Tom in the tournament area and he's
leave
talking on stream,
leave him alone.
Don't talk to him then. If he's moving the rig,
don't be like those teenagers.
Don't talk to him then. If he's playing a pinball machine, don't talk to him then. But if he's doing anything besides that, you can talk to Tom.
If he's eating at a restaurant, come up to him. You can talk to him.
Take the hot dog out of his mouth.
If you're 5 kids and you want to have a call out on the stream, I'm going to tell you to go F off.
Get back. That was the best. Get back. I honestly, Jared and I are going to be bouncing around.
If you have no tournament experience, never played a pinball machine, do not come near the stream.
Well, I'm going to give you a warning on that because my brother genuinely, he's like, I want to commentate.
Well, Jared's different.
We could probably make that
Jared's
happen.
a freaking celebrity in pinball.
Yeah,
he'll probably
is the man.
He'll probably have one of those like cards.
Oh wow!
Like from
the arcade card, or whatever that is. I know what you're
probably
talking about.
Have one of those one day.
No, Jared's gonna be there. I'm excited for. I genuinely I'm excited to see everybody and to play all the games. But
so what are Jared's, Joel? Real quick before we forget everything else, like this. I'm looking through the Stern thing. It's I guess at 5. This is all on Saturday. Making of Jaws, the entire Jaws team. 7 p.m. Uncanny X-Men seminar. And then I thought I saw, 6 o'clock, the making of John Wick. So Elliot and Tim Sexton are going to be talking. That's going to be an interesting one. Because I know we've heard a lot of people going back and forth about that. I'm curious to see, because I feel like they might talk about what's possibly coming in the future.
Oh.
So I'm really curious to see about that. But yeah, it looks like those games are going to be talked about. Is there an Avatar seminar at all? Anywhere?
If only somebody was looking
with
at
Jersey
the schedule.
Jack Pinball at 9:30 on Friday.
I think there's your seminar right there, 9:30 on Friday. But there's a lot. There is a lot to do. But all I can say is to people that have never been
Dutch
before.
Pinball at 5 p.m. on Friday.
Talk to other people. Everybody there loves pinball. They're not going to be there unless they love pinball. Talk to other people. Talk about your favorite games. All the manufacturers, if they're there, they want to talk to people. Talk to people. Talk to other podcasters that you know that you like. Streamers, anybody. If you just talk to people, that's what's fun. Honestly,
except
some of these
for
shows
Tom, when he's in the tournament area.
Some of these shows,
not a TD.
Some of these shows, honestly, I feel like I walk away like, I'll be on the floor or whatever, and it's like, how many games of pinball did I play today? And it'll be like 3. That's just because we just talk to people, have a great time. Yeah. It's awesome. It's so much fun.
I will say too, because we ran into this before also, like if you walk by somebody that you know and you've already talked to them, whatever, it's perfectly fine just to wave or nod or something like that. Because honestly, you're going to see so many people that if you stop and try to talk to everybody,
you'll miss the whole show.
Yeah, you'll probably never play. So yeah,
except for that one guy at TPF that had a triple drain shirt. I still feel bad about it. Tom was there, The one guy at TPF that had the triple drain hat, and we were talking.
That was your fault, not mine.
I know. And he's like, "Hey, just want to say hi." We're like, "Hi." And then he walked off. I was like, "What the heck? What?" That guy emailed me later.
It was just Joel being Joel. He just kept continuing to talk and talk and talk.
But that's the good thing. It's just sometimes it's hard to, if you are like going to dinner or you're on a time frame, and you got to go, because I would love to be able to talk to everybody, and you won't hurt my feelings if I stop to talk to you and you're like, you know what? Shit, I got to bounce. I'll see you later. It happens
all the time.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think we got to wrap it up.
That's it. Oh, Neil McRae, 2 p.m.
I can't wait to see Neil. I love Neil.
He's doing one too on Thursday.
Neil's the best.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. There's some good people here. There's some really, really awesome people in the pinball hobby. And if you're new to this, if you like just stumbled into this podcast, it's an awesome community. Everybody that loves pinball, it's such a social game to play, whether or not you're a tournament player or whatnot. Like, people want to share their collections. People want to play the game with you. People want to play against you. Like, just make friends, dollar games, whatever it is.
If you need a confidence builder, challenge Joel to a game of pinball.
Oh, yeah.
You will feel great. Unless it's on that Labyrinth, then don't do it. Wow. It's a trap.
If you're wondering where to find all this stuff, go to the website, pinballexpo.com, click on event info. You can go down. It has everything there, but schedule of events is kind of what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So
perfect.
Find it all there.
Okay, final short topic, and I wanted to save it for the end because there might be people that want to turn it off. I got multiple messages and emails about my vasectomy. like multiple messages and emails, like, stay strong, brother. I'm right there with you. Thanks for joining the crowd. All this, like, yes, this quite a support situation. So if you want to know, feel free to continue to listen. If you don't want to know, you can turn it off right now. I will tell you, getting a vasectomy is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever done in my life.
Oh, I bet.
You're wide awake when you do it. It's just local anesthesia. So when you're laying there,
you're just sitting there with your legs just dangling. Like,
no, you're laying there.
You're laying there.
Laying there with just a shirt on, and this guy's coming in, and the amount of soap and everything to clean the area, checking it all out. It's just like just having a conversation. Just you do you. And then, getting a shot right in the middle of your sack is something you don't experience every day. And that's something that's just awesome. And then the way they do it, the numbing is just, it spreads through everything and down your legs. It's so odd. And then the guy cuts inside. I had one incision right in the middle. And then all of a sudden the guy's it's small. But then the guy's, knuckle deep inside of me all of a sudden, digging for tubes, which he's got to pull out. So you're feeling this tug, this way inside your body in a position you've never felt before, this kind of tugging, like, soreness. And then all of a sudden that soreness is relieved because he cut it and it goes back into your body. Oh, and then he has to cauterize it. So you smell that. And the whole time we're just chatting it up. He's trying to keep your mind off what he's doing.
Yeah, that's so we're talking. Idea.
What are you even talking about?
Well, he's like, hey, you travel anywhere you take a vacation, or you travel anywhere for the summer?
Did you say, yeah, I played
did.
Pinball.
I said, well, actually, I just came back from a trip to Europe for work. And so we talked about Europe while the guy is all over me. Like, he's just, my manhood is in his hands. And I'm telling you, when they're digging for tubes, it's so strange. It's so strange. But snip, snip, burn, and then he burns it in the middle, little stitch, and then he cleans you up again.
Little stitch? Like, there's only one stitch.
There were 2 stitches. So they cauterize it. They put it back together. They cauterize it. 2 stitches.
I'm positive we've lost our 4 female listeners at this point. They're gone.
Uh-oh.
No, uh-oh. No, he didn't. There was no, like, dang. He didn't. There was nothing. It was just, yeah, it was. So
well, your wife must be happy.
Yeah. Well, it was something, man. It was something. And then that's that. 15 minutes and they clean you up and you put your clothes back on and you waddle out you waddle on out and then you ice your nuts for the next 3 days. It's just, that's what happens. So that's a vasectomy. What I will tell you is the external, there's very little external pain. It's all internal. It's like, I expected it was going to feel like you got kicked in the nuts for like 4 days straight. It's not that, because your balls are there. It's the tubes. It's a deep pain, and it's just a soreness, and it's just strange. So everybody feel free to sign up. I'd love a referral code. If I had one, I'd give it to you. But it takes, roughly, I don't know, a few days, and the soreness starts to go away, and then you're back at it. Not back at it, but a week later, you're up and about. And yeah, apparently I have to.
Are you saying you got to wait a week to take it out for a test drive?
They did say nothing. No, nothing for a week. Nothing for a week. And I'll tell you, I wasn't feeling, I don't think anybody's going to feel that they want to do anything for a week. It is not a pleasant feeling.
Sure. Was there swelling? There
was a little bit of swelling, at one point I was balls? Yeah. At one point I was like, I'm pretty sure half of me is blue down there, and it's probably shouldn't be. And so I told my wife, who's a nurse practitioner,
can you shower?
You can shower
or
after a day.
do you have to put a bag over it?
No, bag over it. Yeah. Yeah. Give me that Kroger bag. Let me no.
My God.
You can shower after a day, but I was like, Nicole, I'm pretty sure half my sack is blue. And she came up and she's like, oh no, it's fine. She looked at it and it's
what do you mean she came up and it's fine?
She's a nurse practitioner, so it's fine. Like blue extremity means it's either dying or it's bruised.
You just like drop trowel and you're like, can you check my balls and just see are they blue or not?
I called down. I said, hey Nicole, can you come up here for a second? She's walking upstairs. What do you need? I was like, I think half my sack is blue. She's like, oh, okay, let me take a look. Look. No, it's just bruising. I think you're fine.
Okay.
So there you go. I love it. Everybody that listens, we have listeners across the world. Yeah. Here's a fun question for you. What percentage, I don't think I asked you this last week. What percentage of men in the U.S. get a vasectomy? What percentage?
Probably
what
half.
percentage of men?
Half.
Probably half.
After hearing this, definitely
50%?
one less. Like, I'm not doing this.
Travis, what was what percentage? What do you think your percentage is of men that get a vasectomy in the U.S.?
Like 30 something.
5% of men.
5. Oh, good. Well, I'm in the 95%.
One website said 6.
Sounds like suckers to me.
But what is cool is insurance covered all of it. It was $0. $0.
After you described it, I'm just going to take my chances on the 5th kid from
here
on out.
Yep. So if that sounds like a good time to you, enjoy. Have a great time. There's your review.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was that. I knew somebody would ask, but I appreciate all the people that send me the messages and the emails. And yeah. So there's your I said I'd give you an update. There's your update.
We got to make a clip of this.
No, there's plenty. There was already 2 clips that didn't need to happen.
Why didn't they stream the surgery? That's what I want to know.
Why didn't I stream it? I could have. I was wide awake chatting it up the whole time.
There would have been some quality flipping out.
But I was just laying there. I was like, yeah. Then we went to lisp. Oh,
what is Zach thinking?
Ooh, that's what I was laying there, just like that is a soreness that I was not expecting. He's like, yeah, that's a little tender.
It would have been awesome if Jared gave commentary during the whole procedure.
Oh Lord, yeah. Yeah. Well, I realized maybe I shouldn't have, but while the guy's, going at it, I asked him, this is what he does. He does 7 or 8 of these a day. I was like, have you had a vasectomy? Apparently I shouldn't have asked him, but he goes, no, I haven't. I'm like, great. Okay. This guy doesn't even know, he doesn't know what he's doing to me. He doesn't know what this feels like. Like, you don't have to pull it out that far, just snip it and move on. Like, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, whatever. Okay. That's that.
My first procedure.
Yeah. Well, appreciate the support, everybody. Appreciate you too. And I know we already plugged. We need to plug it up. We need to move on.
I can't plug after that. I'm good. I'll just see everybody at Expo.
Yeah, Travis Pinball Company. Check out Pinball Company's YouTube. See Travis the pinball booth at Expo.
Stern Pro Circuit Finals too on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right, Tom.
Good day, y'all.
Yep.
Fox Cities Pinball. I do want to say, poor Travis. I'm going to be streaming We talked about the tournament at Pinball Expo. Don't know how the internet's going to be. We're going to flip a coin on that.
Great.
But
it's going to be so good.
But I'm going to record everything. So if things aren't good, it's all going to be good.
Perfect.
Afterward.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, I can control internet issues, so I'm sorry. It's out of my hands.
And then I'm obviously Joel. I do this podcast and I do the Flipping Out YouTube channel, the Flipping Out YouTube stream. So check that out. Click live at the top. I got a bunch of tutorial videos on there as well. So appreciate all that. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. So please subscribe.
Escher is watching your tutorials. I know he is.
Yeah, you're cooked. Yeah. Okay. Please, all three of us will be at Expo. Please come say hi. Please come say hi.
Yes.
That's all we got. Like always, Tom, you get the last words.
See you at Expo.